Okay, so I'm in the Goyt Valley in the woodland here. Absolutely beautiful colours, and I'm doing a bit of woodland photography, and it's really hard because the view in front of me is absolutely stunning, but it's just picking out different images, and there's so much going on around you. You know, it's quite hard. So what you have to think about is we don't want to be getting much of the sky in the shot, because basically there's nothing in the sky, so we always want to be below the skyline. That will give us the best colours and the best compositions. So avoiding the sky with woodland shots is quite important. Lots of beautiful birds I can hear around. I can't see them, but just hear the woodpecker. Oh, I can see the birds up in the tree there, which you won't be able to see on there. But beautiful little birds flying around here. I did have my big lens as well. I will have to go back, I think. Come back again with a big lens. So as I was saying about the photography, it's looking for little scenes, and sometimes also changing the aperture on your camera. You don't always want something in focus. You know, it's a good idea sometimes to open up and just focus on one particular object and throw the rest out of focus, so that your eye's drawn in, because there's that much going on around here that the eye sort of wanders around the scene and you can't pick anything out. So it's picking a subject and focusing on that, and then blurring out the rest of it by using a wide aperture, so something like f5, and it will just bring the eye into the actual image that you're trying to portray to people. So that's what I'm going to be doing in a moment. I'm going to be looking around, looking for different objects, and then using that as a focus point, and using the colours behind me to give a nice muted, well, not muted, but bright, but out of focus background. Okay, so here's an example. We've got this lovely stump of a tree there now. I will be photographing that in a portrait mode and capturing the colours behind. So it's getting the angle. You've got sort of these ferns that give a nice foreground, and then it's selecting the colours in the background. So I'll just show you the shot that I got from there. So you can see this scene here. I've just found this this log that's sitting on the wall. Well, log, it's a little branch. It's got lovely lichen growing on it and some fungi there, and that makes a really nice natural frame. So again, the colours behind it. Again, I'm using an aperture around about 6.5 and focusing on the fungi on that location. I'm framing it sort of like this to get those colours behind. So just looking out for things, using the different apertures. If I change the aperture, it's going to really change the shot. If you've got too much in focus, it doesn't bring your emphasis to the part that you actually want the person to concentrate on when you take an image. I'm looking for little things, and you've just got these little bits of, you know, something like that, and then moving around and getting the colour behind to bring out the best of that, and maybe better dark, so I could get, you know, sort of that location. So just slight movements and looking around, so that works nice in that position. So it's just having a good eye and bringing out your subject. Again, we're looking at the top of a wall. I'll just show you the view here. So I'm just looking at this bit here, where we've got this bit of moss, and we've got the nice colours behind it. Now if I was to take a shot there, we're not getting much separation on the subject, but if I come down and I get that those leaves behind our subject, you can see how much more dramatic the image does, and we could come down. If you're framing up something like that, much better than being up here. So it's about the height, getting the right height, using the right apertures to bring out your subject, and experiment. You know, sometimes you pick the wrong one. If you take plenty of shots, change your aperture, you've got the choice then of what looks best when you get home. So we're taking this shot now of the leaves. Now my video mode is different from my camera mode, so I'm not sure what aperture it's actually selecting at the moment. But what you want to do with that is to throw the background out, so I'll probably shoot that at about f4, and that'll give a nice shot, diffuse the background and bring the subject out. Again, a lovely little scene here. Now on this I'll probably put the aperture up just a little tiny bit, so probably about f6. But again, try different apertures. It's just looking for things like this that are about. You see that's just sitting on the wall, and it's got lovely drops of water on there. Again, it's been raining quite heavily, and I love coming out in this weather. It's great. There's less people about, for one. You don't always need the sun in woodland photography. These muted colours can actually look really nice, and you've got everything, the water on the leaves, and that gives a bit of vibrance to the colours with the muted sun. Another thing is you need to check your shutter speed when taking the shots, because obviously you're going to get blurred images, especially when it's dark like it is today. Luckily with my camera I'm using the Canon R6, and it's got inbuilt stabilisation both in the camera and the lens, so I can get really low shutter speeds and get a still shot. So that works fantastic. So if you have got that available on your camera, it really helps to use image stabilisation. If not using a tripod, usually with my DSLR cameras I would use a tripod for this shot. I'm just coming down to this gate here, and that in itself makes a lovely shot. With all the, it's just getting the right angle and the best position. So again, slight movements in the camera, something like that I think looks nice. So I'm just sort of coming out the woodland now that's behind me. And we've come to a little river. And this is the view along here, so we've got some running water. Now it's not the greatest of shots this, but I will talk about this again with the Canon R6. What it will allow me to do, because of the image stabilisation, is to get that water with a bit of movement in there. So I'm going to change the aperture quite high, probably f18, something like that, and we'll just see how good the shot comes out. So I'm not using a tripod, I'm going to hand hold this shot and just see what we can get. Again, just look at that. So I'm standing on the bridge again, and I'm just looking down and seeing how the leaves have just collected there, and that will make a lovely shot. And again, I'm not using a tripod because I'm using the Canon camera, which has the in-body stabilisation, and again I should be able to hand hold this shot. Now just to make that easier, what I'm doing is I'm resting my arms on the bridge there. I'm actually using that one and shooting through there, and that will stabilise, so I'll come down in there and I'll put the camera actually on there, and that will stabilise this and just give me that shot and that slow shutter speed. So anything you can find to help stop the movement, use it. So there we go, a beautiful day in the forest at the Goyt Valley. and a few little tips there to hopefully help you. So get out into the woodland while we've still got the colours, get clicking, and really think about your shots and the way you can. It's very hard in a woodland because there's so much going on, and you know, you really have to look out for those bits and pieces that will enable you to bring the viewer's eye to the shot. Quite often you can use a small aperture, which a lot of people do, and they go in the woodland, take a woodland shot, and everything's in focus and everything just looks, what do I look at? You know, there's a scene there, but it doesn't really draw the eye in. So I'm not saying use a small aperture all the time. Obviously it depends on the shot. Sometimes it's nice to get a big depth of field, but quite often it's bringing out a subject and, you know, capturing it, so it just brings a bit of imagination, a bit more art to your photography than just going for the norm and just capturing all the trees there with the lovely colours, which is nice, but if you can make it look a bit special, even the better.